Hello everyone, it's Mary. Welcome back to the channel. It has been a really long time since I posted a video, so I'm excited about this one. Although it's the live replay edited down, I'm still going to share some fun techniques. It should be a good time. So before we get into that, I want to remind you, coming up April 26th on Saturday, we're having our next live class talking about cover plate dies. It's going to be a blast, I can guarantee that, because we are doing 10 plus ideas for cover plate dies because they're not cheap. So we need to figure out how to use them a little bit more. So if you're wondering what a cover plate die is, it's basically a die that covers a full panel. So whatever size that is for you. These are A2 size panels right here. And I'm going to be using these three in class, mostly the brick one. So if you have something similar, maybe it's a honeycomb or tile or something like that, would be great to mirror what I'm doing. But if you don't have any cover plate dies, I really still want to encourage you to come because maybe you have a very large die like this butterfly, or you can even bring multiple small dies. You're still going to get something from the class. So I just want to encourage you to join. It's pick your own price and you will have access to the replay as well. So hopefully we'll see you there. The link will be below to register. All right, so let's get into what we did this past Saturday in the live. I made a couple different cards and I'm just showing you a few of the products that I'm going to be using for the class. The first one though, we're going to make a Father's Day card for my husband. Thing is though, we don't call him Dad. Well, I don't call him Dad at all. The kids don't call him Dad. They call him Poppy. And so we're going to do a little bit of a specialized card. Just showing you a couple of the products from scrapbook.com that came out for Mother's Day and Father's Day. All right, so the first thing is I have this tennis racket and ball in my stash here. He is a tennis instructor, and so we're going to really personalize his card for him. I'm going to run that through my die cutting machine 3 times, and I'm going to use just regular black cardstock for that. I'm going to be doing sort of a subdued background with a little bit of texture, so you can see the tennis rackets on there, but black on black makes what we're about to do really kind of cool. Adia was a skeptic. She was doing the administrative side of the live, and I can tell she was definitely skeptical about what I was doing. Like, you can't even see it. That's okay. You will in a minute. So also another tip here, just cut off some of those extra pieces and then use them for your background. So here we go. We have sort of this almost like embossed look, if you will. And I am going to start spraying them with the new solar sprays. Now these are Simon Hurley's new sort of mica sprays. They show up beautifully on black cardstock. I'm going to be using the gold and the blue for this technique here, and they're so fun. They really are. I was asked if they're just like the other Ranger mica sprays, and I don't know if those show up the same on black cardstock. I just know that these really do. Only using 2 of all the colors that they have. And so I can't 100% speak for the mica sprays, but maybe someone out there has both and you can compare and then let us know in the comments. So after I get that sprayed, I wanted to just point out that I love this wax tip tool here. Now this is not quote unquote craft branded. I got this off a store on Amazon because it was way cheaper. But I love the wax tip because it picks up paper. So if you're adding little tiny words, letters like this, which side rant, not a huge fan. I was saying in the live, I love when my die words are like one piece. Huge fan of the solid pieces. Anyway, I'm putting together my happy day here, and I'm kind of outlining the glue in the way that the letters would be. Now, the Barely Art glue dries clear, so it's not a huge deal if there's some, seeping out or whatnot. I just picked that up with my finger and no residue was showing, so it was good. So there's my happy day, and I chose gold to match. And I had a little trouble figuring out how to do the poppy. So that's why I do lives, because crafters to the rescue. Let me know, try solid gold. And I did that for the word poppy. Now, in hindsight, it probably should be _S, like Happy Poppy's Day. That's okay. We're going with it. And I love this. I love the way the card turned out. I thought it was super fun. And it was just really, just fun to get inky and kind of just have fun with sprays. So, all right, that will finish this card here. I did get the question if this is for Father's Day, why isn't Adia making the card? To which I agreed and told her that she should make another card and we should record it. That would be fun. And then have her do the voiceover because she's always a blast to listen to. All right, let's move on to the second card because this one, I really love it. It was fun. Okay, so we're going to use some mixed media cardstock here. This is really thick. I'm going to take out my foam pad because I'm using a rubber stamp. And I'm going to use this Pink and Main matte here because I have to put my cardstock in the center of my Misty because of how large the background stamp is. This stamp is from Simon Hurley. It's a script stamp and it is a staple. I'm going to use some anti-static powder before I do my heat embossing with white embossing powder, but be careful if you do this not to get any on the sticky mat. I just kept it straight to the cardstock. But yeah, this is a staple in my craft room. I love it, love it, love it. It seems to be sold out everywhere. So I asked Simon, please tell me you did not discontinue this. And he said, no, it should be restocking. So that's good news. All right, I'm going to use some sticky clear ink, Versamark, and I'm going to stamp that twice. I only show you once in the video, but I actually stamp it twice. By the way, that pink mat I'm using, if you want to not warp your cardstock, kind of bend the mat and pull the cardstock off of it. That will help keep it from warping or bending. So I'm going to pour some white embossing powder all over my cardstock here and heat set it. I opted for white instead of clear, but because my cardstock is so bright white, you could use clear if you like. So that's either or. If your cardstock is a little more dull, maybe you want a bright sentiment or a bright embossing, you want to use the white embossing powder. Now let's do some heat embossing resist. So my panel's ready. I have some really fun colors here for my ink smushing. I'm going to wet my ink and a little bit on my cardstock, and then we are going to pick it up. How fun is that? The more layers of ink you use, the darker you make it, the more you're going to see that script background. But I'm also sort of going for a mixed media look. It's not meant to be red. So red as in R-E-A-D. It's not meant to be legible. There we go. All right, so I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to heat my panel in between. So I'm getting some really fun layering. The colors I used were Abandoned Coral, I want to say Squeezed Lemonade, and possibly Cracked Pistachio. I could be wrong, but it was one of those softer blues. And you can see some mixing, some greens, some oranges. Any primary colors that you use, you're not going to go wrong with. It doesn't matter what the hue. So that's my experience anyway. All right, I'm going to use this feather pen die and stencil set. This one's from Waffle Flower. I had to have it. I probably saw some short video on it and was like, that's the thing I need in my life. Absolutely. So I bought it, and I think it's been waiting for a couple months to be used. So I have it. I cut it out of vellum, and then I'm going to take the stencil, and I'm going to use my Distress Emboss Dabber, and I'm going to just add some ink through the stencil onto my vellum piece. Now, I do this for a couple reasons. I like to heat emboss on vellum. One, it just looks so pretty, and I'm choosing gold here. But two, it helps me put it down with glue because I just put the glue little pieces behind the vellum on where the gold embossing is. Hopefully that makes sense. You'll see it in a minute. So I get that all heat set. And this little piece right here, it has two other die pieces. That one I think is the highlight, just in case you were curious. I shouldn't have cut that out of gold, so I just don't use it. Now I have my pen all ready to go here, and now I want to de-warpify my panel because I put a lot of water on that. So I'm going to use some double-sided foam, but you don't want to lay it in the circle way. You want to flatten out your card panel first, then add your foam and kind of lay it down flat alongside it. You don't want to just match the curve by adding the tape. So there you can see it's already so much better. Once I put that on my panel, it's flat. Now here's what I'm talking about. So you take your little glue and you just cover up behind the gold and you can't even see it through the vellum, and that works great because that's plenty of glue to hold that down. So there we go. And then I'm going to show you how I finished it off. I used my Waffle Flower Overlapping Hugs Editions set, which is so pretty. It's the prettiest font, and I just did some heat embossing, and then there's dies that come with it, so I just cut those out. And that will finish up for our live. Before we go, one last reminder to join us this Saturday. We would love to have you. It's so much fun. I say 10 plus ideas for cover plate dies because you always teach me so many things in class, and we have so much fun sharing. So I hope you can make it. I will be sure to link everything I showed in this video in the description box below, as well as the link to register for class. I'll see you in the comments down below and in the next video. All right, bye-bye.